Have you ever been alone at night? I mean, truly alone. The kind of alone where the house makes noises you can't explain. A floorboard creaks upstairs when you're downstairs. A faucet drips, but you know you turned it off. It's in these quiet moments that our phones become a lifeline, a connection to the outside world. We scroll through photos, we watch videos to remind ourselves we aren't completely isolated. But what happens when that lifeline, the little glowing screen, becomes the source of the fear? The Snapchat icon is a friendly little ghost, isn't it? A cute, harmless cartoon. It's meant to be playful. It represents messages that disappear, moments that are fleeting, a ghost of a memory, here 1 second and gone the next. We send silly faces, pet videos, selfies, exciting adventures. We trust it. But ghosts aren't always friendly. Sometimes they are warnings. Sometimes they are messengers from a place we don't want to know about. This little app, Code and Light, can open a door you didn't even know was there. It can show you things you weren't meant to see, a glimpse into a reality just beside your own, darker, colder. The pictures are supposed to vanish, but the images they leave behind in your mind don't disappear so easily. They linger long after the 10-second timer has run out. A college student named Chloe was studying late one night. It was finals week. Her dorm room was a mess of textbooks and empty coffee cups. She was exhausted. To take a break, she opened Snapchat, used a silly dog ears filter and typed, "Finals are killing me." She hit send, a quick mindless break. A few seconds later, a reply popped up. Not laughter, one word. "Who's that?" Chloe was confused. She was alone. The dorm was quiet. Her friend sent the picture back with one line, "Look closer." She zoomed in. Her heart stopped. There, behind her in the dark window, a face, not a reflection. Pale and gaunt, eyes wide and dark, mouth open, a silent scream, pressed right up against the glass, third-story window. She scrambled back, her chair clattered to the floor. She stared. Nothing there now, just the blackness of night. She looked at the screenshot again. The face was still there, a permanent record. She ran to the window and locked it, even though it was already locked. She pulled the blinds so tightly no light could get in or out. She called campus security. They came and searched, but they found nothing. No footprints on the grass, no ladder, no sign anyone could have reached her window. Trick of the light? A strange reflection? Or was someone, or something, watching her study that night? Mark and his best friend Liam had been inseparable since kindergarten. They did everything together. One Friday night, Liam went camping in a remote area. The cell service was notoriously bad. Before he left, he promised to send Mark a snap if he got any signal at all. Around midnight, Mark's phone buzzed. A snap from Liam. Mark smiled, glad his friend had found a signal. He opened it. The picture was blurry and dark. It looked like it was taken inside a tent. No caption. Mark thought it was an accident until he noticed the geofilter. "Greetings from Blackwood Forest." Then another snap, a short video. The screen was completely black, but Mark could hear heavy, ragged breathing. Then a voice, Liam's voice, strained with terror. He whispered one sentence. "He's standing right outside my tent." The video ended abruptly. Mark's blood ran cold. He tried to call Liam immediately, but the call went straight to voicemail. The signal was gone. He sent frantic texts. "Liam, are you okay? Call me." There was no reply. For the rest of the night, Mark stared at his phone, praying for another message. The next morning, his call to Liam's parents sounded normal. They said Liam was fine, sleeping in the tent next to theirs. But who sent those snaps? If Liam was safe, who was standing outside his tent in the middle of the woods? The question hung in the air. Who was out there? And why did his friend sound like that? It was a quiet Tuesday evening for a young woman named Sarah. She had just put her 2 young children to bed. The house was finally silent. She tidied the living room, proud of finally taming the chaos. To distract herself, she sent a quick video snap to her husband. "Look, honey, I finally tamed the chaos." She went upstairs, brushed her teeth, got in bed. A few minutes later, her phone buzzed. A message from her husband. "Very funny, Sarah." Then another message. "Who's your friend?" Her heart pounded. She opened the video she had sent and watched closely. As the camera panned past the hallway, for a split second, a figure was visible, peeking from behind the doorframe. A tall, thin shape, pale, contorted, peeking from the corner. It wasn't a shadow or a trick of light. Sarah dropped her phone. She was frozen in fear. The basement door was just down the stairs from her bedroom. Who was in her house? How long had they been there? She crept through the house with a knife, checked every room, every closet, the attic, and the basement. They found nothing. Every door and window locked. but the figure on the video remained in their heads. Was someone watching them from the shadows? Jenna was a freshman, living away from home for the first time. She missed her family, her old bedroom. She was constantly on Snapchat, sending photos and videos to friends back home. One afternoon, while in class, she got a snap from an account she didn't recognize, a jumble of letters and numbers. She usually ignored requests like this, but she felt an odd urge to open it. The snap was a photo of a bedroom, soft blue walls, a white dresser, a bookshelf with paperbacks, a band poster taped to the wall. A wave of cold dread washed over her. She recognized the room. It was her childhood bedroom, hundreds of miles away, but the photo was taken from a strange angle, high up in the corner, as if someone were perched near the ceiling. On the bed, a lump under the covers, the shape of a person sleeping, but she wasn't there. She called her mom in a panic and begged her to check the house. Her mom left work and raced home. 20 minutes later, she called back. The house was empty. The doors were locked. Her room was exactly as she had left it. So who took that picture? The user was already blocked and the message vanished. The image, however, was burned into her mind. David loved using Snapchat filters, rainbow tongues, giant cartoon eyes. One evening, he flipped the camera to point at his empty living room, expecting the filter to disappear. But the floral crown stayed, anchored to an empty spot, as if the filter detected a face that wasn't there. He felt a chill, as if someone was sitting there watching him. He switched filters. The dog ears appeared in the exact same spot. The AR overlay tracked nothing but stayed locked to that point. He slowly panned the room. The overlay moved with his phone but remained anchored to one exact spot. He closed the app, turned on every light. Still nothing. Of course nothing. But he couldn't shake the feeling. For the rest of the night, he couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't really alone. He told himself it was a glitch, a harmless software bug, but the AR features kept behaving as if tracking an invisible face. Flower crowns, dog tongues rolling out of empty air. He turned on the lights. The chair was empty. He tried to laugh it off, but couldn't. Was it just a bug, or was the camera seeing something he couldn't? Sometimes the machine sees things our eyes don't want to admit. Two sisters, Emily and Jessica, were home for the weekend, making dinner and blasting music. Emily filmed a 10-second video to post to their story, just a silly clip of their terrible cooking. She sent it to her story. A few minutes later, the phone started buzzing. Replies flooded in. OMG, what was that? Did you guys hear that? At first, all they heard was music and laughter. Then Emily turned the volume up. Under the music, beneath their voices, there was another sound, a low, raspy whisper. She replayed it, and again. Eventually, she could make out the words. A man's whisper, "You're not alone up there." Jessica went pale. They turned off the music. The house fell terrifyingly silent. They grabbed a knife and crept through the house, checking every room. Closets, attic, basement, nothing. Every lock engaged. Yet the voice on the video was undeniable. Clear, close, and wrong. Where did it come from? Was someone hiding in their house or something else hiding in the sound? Alex's Snapchat was a stream of daily life. Food, friends, his cat, the office view, a digital diary. One morning he woke to a new snap, from himself. Unopened, as if it had just arrived. He opened it. It was a selfie. Him, pale and terrified, his eyes wide, a dark gash across his forehead, time-stamped 4:32, a shaky caption, "Don't drive home." He dismissed it as a prank or a glitch, but he couldn't stop thinking about it. The clock ticked toward 4:30. At 4:30, he couldn't decide. Drive, take the bus, call a rideshare. Then a news alert, a massive pileup on his usual freeway, time-stamped 4:32 p.m. He would have been on that stretch. He never discovered how the photo arrived, a warning from the future, a glitch, a guardian in the ether. We can only wonder. Did it save his life, or was it a glimpse into a timeline that almost was? A phone in our pocket sometimes feels like a small miracle. Sometimes it feels like magic we don't deserve to understand. What is it about these stories that gets under our skin? It's not just ghosts or intruders, it's the familiar becoming strange. A phone is personal, it knows our secrets, it holds our memories. Snapchat is supposed to be fun and fleeting, but the wires sometimes get crossed. What looks like a glitch can feel like a ghost. Technology is a kind of magic we don't fully understand. A signal can pick up something it wasn't meant to. Perhaps these apps are like digital Ouija boards. Each tap a question we didn't mean to ask. The next time your phone buzzes late at night, you might pause. You might wonder what's waiting on that little screen. A friend? Or something else? A face in a window that shouldn't be there. A whisper in a video. An AR overlay anchored to empty air. a snap gone in 10 seconds but living in the static of our memories. In a world always connected, we open ourselves to things we can't control. So when your phone buzzes in the dark, remember, sometimes the scariest things are gone in 10 seconds, but stay in our minds forever.